Here's a way that can help you determine the average selling price of a second-hand Haval Jolion. And before we start, let me greet you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. So, knowing the average selling price will help you have a more accurate budget, and most importantly, it will help you avoid getting scammed. So to get an idea on how much to budget for, I recommend you use these online platforms to search for cars being sold online: AutoTrader and cars.co.za. Here is our first example. This is a 2021 Haval Jolion CT. It's a manual and it has done 66,000 kilometers on it, right? Something to keep in mind is that just because a dealer is advertising on cars.co.za or AutoTrader does not mean that it's a dealership that you can trust. So how I sort these cars out is that I first look at dealerships that are trustworthy, right? This example is being sold by VW Benoni, so I know that a VW branch is a trusted dealership, and the starting price for this one is 250,000 rands, right? So I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to go on and look at other examples from dealers that can be trusted, right? And see what is the average selling price, right? So I'm going to show you other examples, then you see the average selling prices for these cars, right? So keep in mind that the Haval Jolion comes in different variations. So this is the manual variation, which is the CT. They only come in manual. So on average, you need a budget of 250,000 all the way to about 280,000 rands. So Haval is a fairly new car manufacturer that came into South Africa. It came in 2021. The car is pretty popular, so it does hold up in value. So you wouldn't expect a car from 2021 to be costing around 140, 160,000 rands, especially due to the fact that it is a car that is in high demand. So this is how you can avoid scams. If you see dealerships or people pretending to be dealerships selling a Haval Jolion 2021 model or any other year for like 140, 130, 160, or even less, then you can be suspicious that this person is probably selling an accident damaged car, or they are a fake dealership just trying to scam you off of your money. Because back in 2021, the cheapest entry-level model Haval Jolion was about 300,000 rands, and the examples of the models that I've showed you here are low mileage, good condition vehicles. So it will be very suspicious if you see a Haval Jolion being sold for very, very cheap. So as I've mentioned in the video that the Haval Jolion comes in different variations, or let me just say different trim levels. So the first one was the CT trim level. Now this is the premium trim level. This is the base model in terms of the automatic with the 7-speed DCT, right? So let me give you an average price of a second-hand Haval Jolion premium trim level, right? So we're going to start with this one. From 270 to 280,000 would be a good starting price for a good low mileage, good condition automatic premium trim level. So back in 2021, the Haval Jolion premium trim level had an entry cost price of 340,000 rands. And like I've mentioned before, these cars are in high demand, so they still hold up good in value. Depreciation hasn't hit them that hard. Another thing to note is that we are now just looking at these cars online. In order for you to be satisfied with the quality of these cars or the quality of the dealership, you have to go and look at these cars in person. Pick one or two cars closest to you and then go and see them in person and see if you like the quality and you trust that dealership. So the average cost price in the second-hand market for the premium trim level Haval Jolion, you're looking from 270 all the way to like 300,000 rands. Keep in mind the cars that I've been showing you are low mileage, good condition vehicles. And now we come to the luxury trim level. This one averages from 300,000 rands. So this is a more top spec models compared to the previous two that I was showing you. So this one is going to be a bit more pricey. So a brand new one back in 2021 costed around 370,000 rand. So for the luxury trim level model, you're looking from 300 all the way to 330,000 rands for a good low mileage, good condition example. Now this is the last trim level and the last model that I'm gonna cover in terms of the Haval Jolion. This is the super luxury, right? This is the highest spec models out of all the models that I've showed you here in this video. Something that I also want you to keep in mind is that when you get to these dealerships, there's something called added fees, right? Each dealership has their own admin fees or what fees that they're going to add to it. So the prices that you see here may not be the exact prices that you're going to pay, depending on the type of fees that they're going to be charging you there by the dealership. So my advice to you is that try to negotiate if you want to stay close to the exact price tag you're looking at. Right? You don't want to overpay for these vehicles. So if you feel like you want to pay 300 and you saw it for 300, then that's what you want to pay, whether you're doing it cash or via finance. So you're looking at them. The average selling price in the second-hand market for a Haval Jolion super luxury, you can expect it to be from 300,000 all the way to 340, 350,000 rand. Now the reason for this video is so that you can understand the average pricing of these vehicles so that you do not get scammed. Now I'm not saying that you can't find them cheaper for the prices that you've seen in this video. You can find them cheaper and you can find them from a legitimate dealership. But for those who always want to pay cheaper for things, you need to be careful because you might be compromising on quality, or you might be putting yourself up to be scammed by people who are looking for desperate people. I'm not saying that you're desperate. I'm just saying be careful if you are always going to look for the cheapest prices. Right? Sometimes we just have to pray that God helps us and gives us patience. If we cannot afford it right now, you need that patience to wait until you can afford it, or at least you need to go look at something else, right? Because the main point of having a vehicle is for you to move from A to B. So if you can't afford it, then go for something that you can afford. If you really want this one, then be patient to wait until you are able to have that budget. So this is the end of the video. I pray that God's peace and mercy be upon all of us. God willing, see you in the next video.